Can men and women be friends? If you find yourself in a friendship with someone whilst you're in a marriage, where are the boundaries now? Where do you draw the line? How comfortable are you if you were to invite your female friend over to your house to meet the missus?
And the doctors can confirm that.
Yes. What do you say, my people? Welcome back to the After 5 Club. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're tuning in from. As always, thank you so much for your love and support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Boys.
So, it's been a while since we caught up. How you guys been, man?
Yeah, been alright, man. Good.
Not bad.
That's how you know it's been a while.
It's been a while, isn't it? It's been a while.
Yeah. How you guys been?
I've been alright, man. I've been chilling.
What?
I've watched I worked, and I watched Top Boy. Finished off Top Boy.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it was as good as previous seasons, but it was still good. I still watched it. Sakib has no idea what we're talking about.
No, I do. I've watched the first one and first and second season. Yeah,
Name me three characters.
What is that? Sorry, he's a singer, man. Kane, is it Kano?
Kane.
Yeah,
Kane.
Kano.
His name was
Nice.
Kane.
Kano.
I was testing you.
Bass man. And then there's the other guy as well. I don't know his name.
So solid guy.
Is he so solid?
No, he's a rapper as well.
Bro,
He's a rapper as well.
listen. You guys are testing me, bro. The guy goes to another country and then he comes back as well.
Yeah, he goes Jamaica.
Yeah, he goes Jamaica and
yeah.
then he comes back and you know he's trying and his cousin gets killed and all that sort of stuff as well.
Okay.
Yeah, bro, I know it. Come on,
fair
dude.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What about you? How was your week?
Yeah, it's been good, man. Manic as always, life, trying to escape the rat race. So that's one thing I want to talk about as well. It's just, how originally we were like, in general, we want to escape the rat race. Being stuck into a 9 to 5 is something that not everyone wants to do. Like right now, I wish I could just have a 9 to 5. Sometimes having a 9 to 5 with no stress is better.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like what you don't have, you miss, but you still got your 9 to 5 as well.
I still got my 9 to 5, but it's just having just a 9 to 5.
Just a 9 to 5.
Just a 9 to 5.
Just being able to clock in, clock out.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. What's on the agenda, lads?
Boys, I got a spicy one for you today, man. I got a spicy one for you. I hope you guys are ready, yeah?
Yes.
So, the topic of the day is... You ready, yeah? Can men and women be friends? It's a hot topic, not only online, but also across normal life, workplaces.
It's a problem that everyone goes through, right?
Yeah, I think it's one of
Quite
those
a-
taboo. It's
that-
it's
that
one of those.
common
Yeah, it's one of those
people.
taboo things that no one really wants to talk about, but it's a
Yes.
massive issue. Yeah. So, should we get straight into it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, man.
So I'm gonna just randomly ask you some questions. Yeah, I want you to know what you guys think. Yeah. Boys, my first question to you is
Yeah.
what are the issues with men and women being friends? So it's a generic blanket question for you guys. Yeah. I'm gonna go into some of the other questions in a bit, but just off the top of your head, what are the sort of problems that you see coming across when men and women are friends?
Mate, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think there are some genuinely good friends out there who are men and women. The sort of issues that can come up is obviously where you start developing feelings, whether there's like any sort of attraction involved, and if there's not any level of attraction. There's always that chance that feelings can still develop. So these are some of the risks, but obviously if you're in a relationship, there could be other sort of factors, stuff like jealousies, insecurities. I guess it kind of depends if you're single or if you're in a relationship, right?
That's what I was about to say, because if you're in a relationship, it makes things much more complicated, because you have to be considerate of your other half as well. Whereas if you're single, there's not much, relying on you for you to be with friends with the opposite gender. So if you're single, right, And let's just say, let me just give you a scenario. Like there's a female in your friendship group, yeah, and you happen to be closest to that person, to the other boys, to the boys basically, yeah. What do you see being a problem? Where if you're getting close to a female, do you see any sort of problems whilst you're single? Because we're gonna go into the relationship bit in a bit, yeah. Do you see any problems with that, or do you think it's okay?
I mean, as the individual, I don't think. I mean, I can't really see any issues with that. However, from the other boys, like as in boys from the group, that perspective, I can probably see them maybe some level of, stereotype or like some.
Do you think you're gonna be different to the girl than you are to the boys?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. In what way?
Like as in tolerable.
Okay.
Like, I'm just saying, most guys are more tolerable.
Yeah.
Like, as in, girls can get away with making certain jokes, but another guy won't be able to get away with that.
What do you mean?
Oh, mate, come on, man. Like, you're digging deep, bro. I'm just saying, innit? Like, as in, bro, don't put me on the spot like that, innit?
Bro, you answer that question, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the question was in the first
But
place.
the first thing you say is like, what do you mean?
I'm just trying to make it difficult for Sakim.
Nah, bro, I think it's just the fact that, as a guy, you've got that bro code, innit? Like, as in, you can like spud, nudge, all that sort of stuff. I'm just, bro,
He expected me to go, yeah.
Right, but yeah, bro, look, you can do all that sort of stuff. With a girl, you can't, you kind of can't do that.
Yeah.
Yo, what's happening, bro? Or like, oh,
It
bro,
is very true, man. Even
forget that.
it depends. Even if you get really close to that female, you still have to have boundaries. You have to summon their boundaries.
And there's that sensitivity as well, right? So like, for example, bro, with a guy, you can easily be like, oh, bro, you know what? I really need to go to the toilet or whatever type thing, or as in I'm being polite, yeah. But as a guy, most guys will know this, right?
And another point,
whereas to a female, you may not feel comfortable doing that, even if she's a very, very good friend of yours.
And a very good point I want to add to that as well is when you are friends, if you are friends with the opposite gender, it's very tricky because if you're too friendly, it can come across as maybe, oh, are you attracted to this person? There's a lot more doubts in each other's minds. Do you get my point? With your boys, you could just be how you are, but when you're with an opposite gender, as you said, there's boundaries. And obviously, if you're too friendly, maybe the other person or yourself can question your relationship.
My guy's talking from experience.
Me personally, if you actually want my complete opinion, I'll be completely honest. Again, some people can agree with me or disagree with me, but I'm just against being friends with the opposite gender. And my reasoning behind that is there's no need, in the sense where the friendship group I have with my guys, it fulfills my needs of having friends, right? Why would I need another female? As in, what do I gain from that? Do you get my point on that? Like, as in, I don't go out my way looking for the opposite gender friend.
No. Nobody's saying you have to go out looking, but as in, say for example, I don't know, it could be anywhere. It could be somewhere where you work. I mean, let's be straight, right? Like, as in, if you're not in studies, then it's going to be somewhere in work. It's higher possibilities you're going to find. You're going to meet people at work or whatever. Or then otherwise it's going to be in college, university, or whatever type thing. But what I'm saying is that basically, being within a certain group or in your class, or whether that be in an office, you do interact, and obviously as you do interact, you can grow a little bit of friendship. So basically what I'm trying to say is that obviously in a work environment, if you just keep straight to the point about work, come on, your work life is going to become really, really boring, right? Whereas if for example, if you add a little bit of banter and all that sort of stuff, then I don't see anything wrong with that, whether that be with the same gender or the opposite gender, or sorry, I don't know if it's gender or sex now, I'm a little bit confused, right? But like, as in, regardless, whatever it is, gender or sex, right? I don't think that makes any difference.
I completely agree with you, Saki, but that's only if you're single. I think when you're married or have a partner, things change.
Because there's a level of respect that you have to kind of honor as well.
There's certain boundaries you have to respect, innit? Let's talk about the relationship sort of aspect of it then. If you are in a relationship, if you are in a marriage, what are the things that you need to be looking out for? So, like, for example, if you find yourself in a friendship with someone whilst you're in a marriage, yeah, where are the boundaries now? Where do you draw the line in terms of, all right, these are things I can do, these are things I can't do? I'll give you straight up. I've actually made one of the points on my notes here is that how comfortable are you if you were to invite your female friend over to your house to meet the missus? And if you're uncomfortable with that, then you know. That's a straight up sign.
Very, very
straight
valid
away.
point.
That's a very good point.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to hide that friendship,
then that obviously means that
there's a reason behind it.
There's a reason why you're hiding it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Defo.
So man's out there need to start thinking.
This is it, man.
Then you start inviting their girlfriends over, their friends that are females over.
But you know what? There's a sense of, you don't want to mix like friendship and your home life into one either, which I get that as well. But then you have to be respectful, man. Because if your missus is at home, yeah, and you don't want her to be feeling insecure about who's my husband talking to, like what sort of relationship has he got at work, and these are sort of things that you need to be open about. These are sort of things that you need
100%,
to have a
100%.
conversation.
It can go both ways, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
exactly.
So like, yeah.
And the truth is as well, right? It's important, and this is where communication is so important as well. You need to have that. If you are in a relationship, your communication between you and your other half, it has to be to the point where it's so easy. Like, you're not hiding anything. It's not like, oh, I've got female friends, but I don't need to tell her, as in your other half. I feel like you could easily just tell your other half, and you both can communicate to each other, and that's how you move forward. I think it just depends on how your relationship is.
I guess it also depends on the partner's tolerance as well, right?
Exactly.
Like, 100%. I agree with you, Answer. That basically you just need to be respectful of each other's feelings, right? Like, as in, if one person's got a higher threshold, then fair enough. Okay. If they've got low threshold, then try respecting that if you can. Sorry, I said if you can.
And another question you have to ask is it worth causing doubts in your own relationship just for you to have a female friend? I mean, does that friend have to be so special for it to cause your relationship?
Let's talk about this. Why do you think men feel the need to have female friends?
Do they?
Do you think they do feel the need to?
As in
because some man them out there, yeah, some of them, obviously, we as boys, yeah, we can, like I said, we have our own friendship, right? But they might be missing something in their own friendship where they can't sort of open up to their boys about certain things, and that's a very a big thing in men, where they can't sort of talk about certain issues and stuff, whereas they might feel more comfortable talking to females about that. So do you reckon that might be one of the reasons why they have female friends?
Again, if you're single, then that shouldn't be a problem. As in, it's not like, as in, if you're in a relationship and you're looking for, why don't you speak to your own other half? Do you get my point on that? As in, why you don't need female friends? You've got your wife or your husband, to kind of, I just feel like that should be the person you should be speaking to and connecting to on a different level.
But I think if you haven't got that relationship, then I think you're right. And so that can possibly be one of the reasons why a man might end up building a friendship with a female. I think a little bit of, I can't remember where I read this, but this was some time ago, but I'm pretty sure it was on Daily Mail, right? Where basically it said that that males most of the time have some level of attraction towards the females, whereas females, on the other hand, they don't necessarily have that sort of attraction towards the men. But unless, sorry, God, I do talk a little bit slow sometimes. Right,
God, yes, I do talk a little bit slow sometimes.
Always, man.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh, sugar.
Whereas women, for example, the only time they may end up allowing that attraction to build is if they've actually got a gap in their relationship. Whereas men, even if they've not got gap, they often let their emotions and their feelings go a little bit wild.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. But that's the next point I was gonna make as well. If attraction is involved, is it the same question then? For a man, I know for a man exactly. 100% for a man, if there's attraction involved, there's a reason why he's in that friendship with that female, because usually, there's a level of attraction that comes into play. Yeah. Whereas, like you said, with a female, she's not necessarily looking for attraction. She's more looking for that emotional bond. But with a man, it's more likely that attraction element of that friendship. That's what he's looking for.
I think the scary thing is that women don't understand how men's minds operate.
Yeah.
I would say, and I know for a fact that most men out there on social media hiding behind closed doors, they're gonna definitely be writing in the comments disagreeing. But the simple fact is that men are usually sexually attracted to the opposite sex, and quite easily.
That's in our nature.
Yeah,
that's in our build.
It's animal nature. It's human nature. It is what it is.
Yeah, for me,
sorry, man. Gone a little bit deep, man. Like you went into deep thought there.
No, do you know, it's because I'm just contemplating things, and obviously, so many people are in so many different situations aside from us in life and everything. So many people may have access to female friends, but man, I'll be completely honest. I'm just comparing it to my personal situation, and for me, the reason why I don't have much to talk about on this topic is because one, I don't have female friends aside from.
Mashallah.
No. It's not even for me. It's not. I'm just being honest. I don't have female friends aside from work colleagues, but I don't see them as that friendship level, if that makes sense. Yes, we're very close. Yes, they're the opposite gender, but work is work. Once work is finished,
Hobbs, we're not talking about you. We're not talking about us.
We're not talking about us, bro.
Yeah, we're
talking about people.
It's about general, like just in general, how men think.
Men are vulgars.
That's what I mean. That's
it is true, but
and it's not just about men. It's also about women as well, right? Like obviously, there's some women who just love that bit of attention, right? So like, and they like, and they kind of bring it on themselves, like 100%, right? 100%. They know what they're doing. They want men to approach them on a friendly vibe.
Yeah.
But secretly, they just love that attention.
Yeah. But then the men are there giving them attention.
Yeah.
They on the forefront already, just dropping to their knees. Yeah,
100%. No, I agree.
But yeah, coming back to attraction, right? So I think if there is attraction involved, I think you should just forget about it, man. If there's one party that's attracted to the other,
then
that friendship isn't gonna last.
Yeah, but then answer the problem is, even if there's no attraction initially, attraction can still easily be built. Don't you?
Yes, you're right.
Right.
Yeah,
so if anything, you should just draw the line right from the beginning, right?
But do you know what's true? Are we talking about in this situation, or are we generalizing whether that person is single or not? Because if that person is single, it's fine, because how else do you meet your other half? Aside from an arranged marriage, you start off as friends, you get to know each other, the attraction starts, and then that's it. That's how you build that's how a lot of relationships start. So for me, I don't think it's bad if you're single. Maybe that's your intention. Start as friends and see where it can lead.
Keep halal though.
Of course.
Keep halal. Everything. You have to keep halal.
100%.
But if attraction is involved and both parties feel a certain way, why not just continue it? There's no harm. You're single if that's what you're looking for. If you're not single, you shouldn't be having female friends. That's my personal opinion.
But let's just say you do have a female friend. You're married now, yeah?
You're married.
And you have a female friend. There's a level of attraction there. You feel a little bit attracted to that female.
Cheating.
Yeah. It's not even really cheating.
You haven't done anything.
No, okay, fine. You're not friends, yeah?
I just view it as cheating.
No. Let's just say...
Why? I just feel like it's difficult to explain, but I just feel like if you're having thoughts of another woman or another person...
Okay, take friends out of this,
yeah?
It's associate, someone at work.
Yeah.
You work with this person, right?
And you're attracted to that person.
Yes. But you're very close in terms... You're working together very closely, and you're speaking every day, pretty much. What are you doing? And you know this deep inside, you are attracted to this person as well. She's a very attractive girl. Do you cut off with that female straight away, or do you be like, nah, I can't speak to you, sort of thing, or do you?
Are we asking about personal? Or,
I'm talking personal now.
me personally, we'll go one by one. Me personally, I would avoid that person because if I'm in a relationship, for me I classify that as you're on the pathway of cheating. Like it's more of a is you should have morals. Like you can easily block it. We're men, right? You can easily block stuff out. So for me, I would, if I was to be attracted to someone at work, I would stay away from them. I would keep my distance. Obviously, if it's to do with work, we would do the work or whatever needs to be done. But that's it. I'll draw a line. I would only need to speak to that person if I need to. Aside from that, I don't, because I've got someone at home.
Yeah, obviously right. Yeah, but let me say this. Yeah, look, we live in a world where men and women, we have to work together. We can't escape each other.
Yes,
we have to work together. We share the same space. If you go into workplace, there's gonna be women there. There's gonna be men there. So why are you gonna run away from that? That's more so you got a problem within yourself. If you're running away from females, that means there's a problem within yourself. Why can't you hold yourself back? Why can't you draw a line? Why can't you make boundaries? If you do make boundaries,
I think that that's
exactly what
you meant, right?
That's exactly what I meant.
I'm
not saying about
run away from them.
No. I don't mean run away, but what I mean is you mature yourself. If you're attracted to that person, get it out of your mind. But you're not gonna make the other person feel uncomfortable because it's you that's attracted to that person. They haven't done anything wrong to you. So I wouldn't make them uncomfortable, but I wouldn't excessively speak to them, if that makes sense. Whatever's work is work. We'll talk, whatever, we'll get the work done. Act as if everything's normal. I'll keep my thought to myself, but I know that I won't action on it. Because look, really and truly, there's so many men. We find so many celebrities pretty and all of these things. Just see it as that. You're never gonna act towards it, are you? And it's the same situation. I take that back when I mean run away. I don't mean run away or like you're gonna. If that person asks hi, you're just gonna ignore the person or you're just gonna walk away. No, you just say hi. You okay? Boom, khalas.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What do you think, Skip?
Yeah.
What?
What do you think about men and women? Like, if you're attracted to that woman in the workplace?
I think if you're attracted and you're in a relationship, then 100% try to maintain that professional boundary and just work within that professional boundary. I guess the only sort of thing that I would probably say is not necessarily for myself, but just generally for most guys out there and most women out there. If you're in a vulnerable state in your relationship, then of course that can have an impact on how much you're actually going to cut off and to what level you're going to remain professional. I think, mate, this question doesn't just apply to men. I think this question applies quite rigorously to women as well.
Yes,
right?
yes.
As in,
we're gonna get into it. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you. I think, and I know I've mentioned something similar earlier, but I think the ball half the time is in the women's court. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
What do you mean by that?
Because a woman can choose her friendship a little bit more than men, I feel. What do you guys think?
I don't think I agree with that.
No?
No. What do you mean she gets to choose?
No, as in a man. Okay, look.
Are you talking about with the opposite gender?
Yeah.
For women.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, in a workplace, for example, right? Obviously, there's code of conduct. There's there's like HR processes and all that sort of stuff, right? So obviously, a man has to be very, very careful because obviously you don't want to upset a female colleague, right? It could be certain jokes, it could be certain banters or whatever type thing. Whereas if it's initiated by a female, then that's basically an invite for a man.
I agree, but I disagree as well at the same time, because you could say the same about the man. If a man's initiating a conversation, that could be an invite as well.
I totally agree with that aspect. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is a man's tolerance in terms of banter is natural, could be a little bit more than a female's. So say, for example, you walk into a heavy female environment, work environment, right? And say like, for example, the ratio is like 8 to 2 men. Yeah, 8 females to every 2 men out there. Now you might be able to go in, and these 8 females are just like, for example, making small little comments, this, that, whatever. Nothing serious, but just as a little joke type thing. Oh yeah, you know, he's my toy boy or something. Not toy boy, but you know, bruv, look,
Work husband.
You know, this is my work husband or something like that. Just as a joke, like just friendly, just being friendly, right? A man is going to be a little bit more tolerant to that, right? But if it's the other way around, 8 mans working in that same office, and then there's like 2 women working there, the 8 men will have to be a lot more careful about what they're saying. A lot more. This is what I'm trying to say.
That is a fair point, actually.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna move on to the next question. Yeah. So we talked about male and female friendships in work environment. Yeah. Do you think? Well, I'm gonna give you a little stat. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a little stat. So I found this online, and this was a study carried out, and it said on average, a married couple only spend on average 4 minutes a day having meaningful conversations, and that's 2 minutes before work and 2 minutes after work. Meaningful conversation, as in you're both connected, you're both like seeing each other eye to eye, and you're having a deep conversation. Whereas you're at work 8 hours during the day. In those 8 hours, you could be spending a lot of time having a conversation with a friend and an acquaintance of the opposite gender. Do you think that sort of sways the reason why a lot of people are having friendships at work?
100% agree. I think, you know, it's true. You are more times at work than you're even at home. You know, we work a lot. And for me, I think it's all about keeping your private life private. So that's one advice I would give, is when you're at work, for example, it's not good to review everything. Obviously, friendships we kind of do, but sometimes when you're in a relationship, you have to take that into account. Sometimes it's best to keep certain things private and not go into it, because we hear stories of, you know, when you're at work, it's like Star Plus. You know, you're just hearing about relationship problems or people going through things and all of these things, and I feel like that adds to that friendship as well, if that makes sense. And my advice would just generally be, if you can, obviously have a boundary, so that when you do finish work and you're going home to your other half, it's not like, oh, you've just ranted all about your issues or anything that's going on in your relationship at work. Keep that separate, so that you then, when you finish work, you feel like you can give more time and effort at home in privacy. I don't know if you get that. I don't know if that's a fair point.
Nice, fair point.
That's a fair point. That's definitely a fair point. But I think a workplace is somewhere where, you know, like, as in, I think it's really difficult, man. I think. Sorry, I'm coming away from that question, but I'm just trying to. I think it's really, really difficult. Because obviously, loads of people, they have like 2 different sort of personalities, right? Like, as in, you know, at work they've got a complete different personality where they're like, you know, try to be this professional person and whatnot. At home, they can even jump up and down and, you know, sing in the bathroom and, you know, do whatever you want, right? So. But I think you don't actually enjoy work until you let your guard down.
It's true.
And loads of people do want to make their work life very, very comfortable. So, but then if you do, there's that caveat, right? Like, as in, you know, where you're open to these sort of risks, and that's where the question comes back in. Just remind me the question again.
It wasn't a question, it was a statement. That you spend more time at work with these people than you do with
your
your wife.
Yeah. So now, obviously, if you're spending a lot of time at work, then obviously, and you know what, these things, it doesn't have to be with intent. Like, as in, it can just happen that basically, you know, where you get to know loads of your colleagues, and as your friendship grows, you know, it could start developing into attraction. But if it does, then, you know, you just need to know. I think you need to be honest with yourself and just just know where to draw the line within you, like as in, because I think this is where a lot of people don't draw that line. At the same time, I also do feel that your work life doesn't have to be fully transparent at home. I think that will just cause more and more issues. What I mean by that is, okay, even if it's work related, right? Even if it's work related, there could still be some elements of jealousy. Like for me personally, I wouldn't want to know anything what happens in like my partner's.
Is it?
No,
I think I would, man.
I wouldn't want to know. I think for me, I think the more I know, it might just irritate me. So that's why I think I'd probably not want
I
to
see
know.
more
And
of an
then
issue of that person's keeping it to themselves
Yeah.
rather than not saying it to me.
no, as in, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to share thoughts and share discussions and all that sort of stuff, right? But I don't think I would be trying to find out every little detail. And okay, look, let's put it this way. If that's the sort of attitude you've got, yeah, let me ask you this: would you mind your wife or your partner or whoever it is working with you?
Yeah. Why not?
Not for that reason.
No.
Not for that
but
reason.
Why not? Why not?
Not for that
though?
reason.
No, but then why not?
Well, because I can't be myself around in my own work.
Exactly. Why? But why is that a problem?
It's because my missus is going to be tracking my every move. That's why.
Exactly. So that's exactly what my point is, right? So now for that reason, I don't think your work life needs to be fully transparent to your partner, right?
I think for me, it depends on how it affects you as a person. Every person is different. So like for me, for example, it just doesn't affect me at all. As in, I know well within myself, even if she does tell me, or if she was to have told me, the situation and stuff, it doesn't affect me because I know within myself that I'm not doing anything. I've got female work colleagues. I know within myself that it's just friendship or work colleagues and it's nothing more. And vice versa, I have to give her that opportunity as well, because we're seeing it from a guy's point of view, and for a girl we can't now judge them. So imagine if you were to have female colleagues, right, and you're telling me, yeah, I don't want to know about my wife, but you may have female colleagues. Like for me, I just feel like there's two sides of a coin, and if she has it, fair enough. By all means, it doesn't bother me because I know the situation of me having female colleagues, and I know that there's nothing there. So of course, it could be the same for my other half as well. So when if she does tell me situations like, oh yeah, this at work, this happened with a male colleague and stuff, for me that's normal because there's certain things that happen in my life with a female colleague that I'm telling her about, and it's just a normal conversation. We're both mature enough to know that, work is work.
But what I'm saying is, do these say for example, I'm
example.
going to ask you this question now,
Go for
yeah?
it.
Say for example, yeah, your wife, your partner, whatever, something happens, like for example, her work colleague is being over friendly and is trying it on with her, for example. Would you want to know that information?
100%.
100%.
Oh, you would?
Yeah, why wouldn't you want to know?
Why would you not? It's like you're allowing that.
No. You're not allowing nothing.
No.
You're not allowing nothing, right? What I'm saying is, there's.
So you'd rather let her keep that to herself?
Yeah.
But wait, by you knowing, what difference is that going to make?
At least I know that this person's being forward with this person, isn't it? Would you rather let your missus just let that person be forward with you?
No. Nobody's talking about
Yeah.
about someone being forward with them.
Yeah.
No. Nobody's talking about that. I'm asking that some next man is trying it on with your missus at work.
Yeah. And she doesn't tell you.
And no, it's not that she doesn't tell you. It's that, is it actually that important for that discussion to take place at home, for that to bother you?
For that discussion to take place, it shouldn't bother you anyways. I feel like, when you finish work, you talk about how your day is with your other half. And for me, I know you're not saying it in that way, but if an example was my other half isn't telling me this, I would have even more doubts.
No.
There's a difference. So if it's someone random, I don't want to know. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
That's someone random.
Yeah.
If she's working with this person and she's seen this person every day, and this person is trying it with my missus, I would expect her to tell me.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying.
for me personally, I would have that like, as in for me, I would want to have that trust that basically, you know what, I know she's not gonna, she's like, as in I can trust her. She's probably already sort of given this person the response that needs to be done. If that, of course, like for example, if this person keeps on bothering, then yeah, I would want to know. But in the first instance, I don't think, because look. The first,
I get your point.
The first impression, nobody's ever direct, right? You kind of just get the feeling that yes, this colleague is trying it on with me, right? Now, if you're just getting that feeling, I don't need to know that.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is that, okay, even if they are trying it on, you just need to, you know, build your boundaries. That's all, right? As long as you built your boundary, that's cool, right? But I don't need to know all the nitty gritty stuff.
I think
Like,
it's
you
the
know,
question
what
we
it
should
is?
see
You know
it
what?
differently.
I think it's respect, man. I think if
Yeah.
Mrs. tells that to you, I think that's the level of the respect that she's showing you. That yeah, there's
Exactly.
someone that's trying on me at work. It's not even to make you jealous or anything like that. It's just a level of respect.
But as men, would you not have the slightest bit of jealousy?
No,
not really, no.
I'll be gassed.
You'd be gassed what? About
No,
what?
I would be gassed.
Bro,
Bro,
no,
wait.
but,
I'd be gassed.
but like what I mean is, what I meant to say is there's no way going. Like what I mean is, it doesn't bother me because then I know my relationship between my
Yeah.
other half, so I know like it's all about trust and loyalty.
Yeah.
Truth is, if someone wanted to do something behind your back, they could
They will
easily
do
do
it,
it.
yeah.
They will do it regardless. Whether
Yeah.
you know, so for
Yeah,
me,
yeah, 100%.
if someone tells me, if my other half was to have told me that, I wouldn't. That's the main question we should be asking is, instead of I don't want to know, is if you were to know, would it bother you? That's the question. You know, imagine your other half comes one day and says, "Oh yeah, you know, this person's trying on me at work." Would you let that get into your head, and would you let that affect how your mood is or how your day is? Or
I think
you know?
initially wouldn't, and it also depends on how she reacts to that person moving to her. If she responds in a proper way, then I would have no worries whatsoever, and moving forward, I wouldn't be worried at all. But if it's a constant thing that this person is always trying it with my missus, and eventually my missus stops telling me, I would see that as I would start having doubts. Like, why is she not telling me anymore? And is that person still continuing to be forward with my missus? And again, I would have more
Okay,
doubts.
so let's just imagine, yeah, she's told you a couple of times now, yeah, and now you're starting to get pissed off. Like, why ain't this person backing off? And you start taking things into your own hand. You start getting aggressive, or not aggressive. You start saying, "Oh, listen, you know what? I'm gonna come to your workplace someday. You know that if this shit continues." Now she's gonna be too afraid to tell you stuff.
Listen, the fact that person is still trying it,
And so that means it must be a thing with your other half, because
that means the message it didn't get across the first time round.
reciprocated, yeah.
As in, if a woman shuts out a man first time round, there's no reason for the man to keep coming back.
Exactly.
Especially in the workplace.
No, I agree. But mate, some men are dogs.
Yeah, but it's a workplace at the end of the day, man. You can
report that.
You can report that.
And then you could. I feel like if it gets to that stage, realistically, if in a job, you can speak to your management or HR or whatever, and you could be, you know, redeployed somewhere else, or there's ways. I feel like if it gets to that stage, that's technically harassment now. That's just like someone actually.
Yeah, that's
you know
that-
that
I
is.
get what you're
that's
trying to
what
say. I
it-
get
yeah.
you're trying to say you should have trust. I get you should
Yeah.
sort of let her do her thing. I understand that.
Yeah.
But as men, yeah, we have that inner jealousy within us naturally anyway. Anyone tries to step to a woman, you're gonna get jealous.
Yeah.
Regardless. And I think that's completely natural.
That
And
is,
that's fair.
and that's exactly what I was trying to ask,
Yeah.
right? So now if I know something that's gonna bother me,
Why would you want to know in the first place?
I don't want to know about it as long as I trust my wife. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I trust my wife, I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm sure she's dealt with it in a good manner. That's
But
it. Like, do you know what I mean?
And I completely agree. And another angle to see it is, at the end of the day, women don't know. Well, a lot of women don't know how men think, and a lot of men don't know how women think. So her telling you, right, could be a good way for you to give your advice to her in terms of, because we know how men think.
Yeah.
So you could say, oh, you know, this person is, trying on me, this, then you could give your response.
I mean, sorry, I should just a little disclaimer. I've not had any of these conversations with my wife, by the way.
Yeah.
Right. So this is
general.
This is generally just speaking. Yeah. No. I hear you though. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I just feel like it would be good. Vice versa as well. It works both ways around. If somebody is not harassing you, but if someone's trying on with you at work and it's a female.
But actually, you know what? I've got a good one actually. Has anyone actually been tried on at work? Like, as in, not tried on. Has anyone been actually harassed at work?
Harassed?
Yeah.
No, have you?
I actually haven't.
No, but you know what? Not to that extent. But I know, like, for example, if it was the other way around, there would be complaints. Like, as in, no way can men get away with making certain comments around women and stuff like that. So yeah, I think to a certain degree, yeah, I'd say so. Mate, it's mess, man. You actually feel violated.
Yeah.
Like, as in, if that does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you saying, man?
The question is, do you talk to your other half about it?
Yeah, I did.
But you don't want to know if your other half.
No, mate. No.
I'm playing chess right now,
bro. Harassment is different.
Checkmate, mate.
No, it's not. It's not even checkmate. Like, listen. Harassment is different to someone just trying it on, because someone can be trying it on genuinely, right? But as in harassment,
someone's actually harassed you.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go into details, right? But I have. I feel I have. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you know? I just don't let I don't let myself get to that.
Like
situation.
not physically, by the way. Just verbally.
Like, she kept saying things to you.
Yeah.
Dropping comments.
No, not as a group.
As a group?
Yeah.
What?
Like a group of girls.
A group of girls?
Yeah, a group of girls.
Is it?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying nothing.
It can't be when we were working together.
Huh? Tell us after.
I'll tell you guys after.
I'll say no.
I'll tell you guys after.
Do you want to cut now? This is cut now. Okay.
Guys, it's been a great episode.
I'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Nah, fair enough. Alright, what about this take, yeah? Now, let's just say in your marriage or relationship, there's certain problems, right? There's certain areas of, things that, just aren't going well for you. There's certain voids in your marriages now, yeah? Do you think people are more inclined to start making these friendships outside your marriage because there are these voids?
100%.
And I see this a lot.
I think so.
I see this so much. And
People become weak at that stage,
Yeah.
and they let their weakness take over, and they start making mistakes, and they start messing up, and that's the real test. You should see it as a test. You shouldn't see it as anything more. I'm just looking for a friend, or give yourself excuses when you're at that moment. And the truth is, when you are in a relationship or a marriage, or you're with someone, it's never gonna be 24/7 high. You're never gonna be bro, we're all humans at the end of the day. Sometimes our self-esteem is a lot lower. Sometimes your other halves is a lot lower. It's about balancing each other out. And I think when, kind of going away from the topic, but just giving some advice, when you're in those situations, because it's going to happen 100%, whether it happens now or later on, it's going to happen to every single person. That's when you should tell yourself, okay, this is a test. I'm in a not sticky situation, but I'm in a situation where maybe certain people are not as happy as they want to be. That's when now you should tell yourself, okay, this is a test. Any actions I do, I need to think even more about it. And certain situations like that, when you're probably going to work and someone's speaking to you and they may be the opposite gender and you're feeling low already, and that person made you laugh, for example. The situations like that, that's when you should really take a step back and think, okay, let me reevaluate quickly, let me brainstorm, because at the end of the day, your head could be, we're humans.
That's you're 100% right, because that's at that point you should be reevaluating your friendships.
Exactly.
If there are any friendships at work, you should be reevaluating it.
And this is why I said you should keep your private life private, because if you now go, say you're going to work, you've had a rocky day, you've had an argument with your missus or whatever, you've now gone to work, and now you've built that friendship so close where you're now telling your friends of the opposite gender at work, this morning was difficult, me and my wife had an argument. It gives the other person the opportunity to prey upon you, to take advantage. Obviously, majority of people don't, but there are situations it can. And that's why I feel like, imagine if you didn't tell your work colleagues about you having problems at home or in your relationship, they wouldn't even know. So you just put on a front, it's fine, everything's normal, you're not seen as weak.
People do slip though, man.
But people slip, and that's life. And I feel like just reevaluate, take a deep breath, and see it as a test, and see if you can pass that test. That's what I feel it's all about.
No, you smashed him 100%. I completely agree, man. These voids that are there in relationships, they're so dangerous, man, because easily you can fall into the trap of finding that comfort from someone else. Like you said, even if it's someone that's at work, you might, like I said, because you're speaking to this person 8 hours a day, bro. Exactly. You're filling that void by speaking to this person, and this person is giving you something that at that time your other half is not giving you.
Very
And that's a small portion of your relationship, right? You never know, within a day or two things might change. But you're because of that 1 or day or two, you're seeking that comfort from someone else, and then that builds on, and you spiral into something that you shouldn't be in.
And do you know what it can lead to? And what I feel is, this is the reason why I don't have female friends aside from work colleagues, like, because obviously I just don't have, I choose not to. Is the reason is because of comparison. So now, say for example, you're speaking to a friend of the opposite gender, and you have a different level of banter to your wife. For a man, you're going to end up comparing eventually. You're going to be like, okay, my wife, and then now I'm at work, for example, and I've built this relationship with certain people, and am I now comparing? Okay, am I enjoying, which conversations am I enjoying now? I'm enjoying more of the conversations at work than I'm enjoying conversations with my wife at home. And that's where it causes trouble, and that's where your mind can really become weak. And I think, it's just difficult. And I think moving forward, it's just all about thinking how you are as a person. Because some people are extroverts, so for them, they open up and they say a lot of things, and then that's where it can cause problems. So you just have to be careful.
Overshare.
Don't overshare. Yes, being friends with someone, you can still talk, you can give advice, you can do stuff, but people don't need to know your whole life story, even if they're their closest friends, if they're your closest friends. There's certain things which, private things, should just be kept private between you and your other half. No matter how close you are as a friend to someone else. I don't know if you guys agree.
I agree, 100%.
I think the trouble is, if you've got a void in your relationship and you bring that to work with the opposite gender, sex. Basically, the problem is, when you're having these conversations with someone who you feel is your friend at the time, whether that be a male or female, opposite, whatever. The trouble is that they will say the sort of things you actually want to hear. And when they're saying the things that you want to hear, you're automatically thinking of your own partner as negative, right? Because obviously you've just had an issue, right? Like you've just disclosed an issue, as you said. Like, for example, you should keep your private life separate, right? Now, if you do discuss your private life, and as a friend, most friends, they will always, majority of the time, try to see your reasoning behind whatever decisions you've made and whatnot, and they would try giving you the benefit of the doubt, and they would want to comfort you.
So biased opinions.
So it can be a biased opinion. And when you hear the other person in agreement with you, then you automatically start thinking over time that, you know what, am I with the wrong person? Do you know what I mean? And I think this is where, especially if you're in a void, it can just make you more vulnerable. Yeah. And I think it goes, as I said, man, like it definitely goes both ways. because there's lots of girls who are very, very emotional, and sometimes they open up more than men do, right? And sometimes they reveal quite a lot of their personal issues and their relationship issues at work or to their friends, to their male friends, and all that sort of stuff. And you know, as a man, you know, half the time, I think most men would just be like trying to give them that comfort, because they're automatically thinking that she's too emotional at the moment. I can't say this. I can't speak facts. I have to say this, that, blah blah blah. I just need to make her feel a little bit more comfortable, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, she might be comparing you
I
to.
know. The thing is, I think females are more vulnerable in this situation than men are, because, like I said earlier, I think emotionally, if a female is not getting what she wants from a partner, she will seek that from someone else. She will seek that from someone else. If you're not emotionally there for it, if you're not emotionally available for that, even if it is just a friendship, she's gonna seek that from someone else. Whereas a man, right, if you're not, you know, if you're not really getting that emotional connection from your missus, you kind of just keep it to yourself. You know what I mean?
I think you're right.
And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I would honestly, I think that's a pretty much bang on statement.
Well, most men do keep their feelings to themselves. Obviously, historically, most men would.
Only in drastic cases they might slip up. They might, you know, reveal things that they shouldn't have revealed. But more or less, females, any sort of situation, any sort of void in the relationship, they do open up to other people, and that's just the way it is.
I think what I meant by you should keep your private life private. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to. Do you know what I hate? I hate people, because you hear a lot of stories of, you know, like when we talk about marriage, for example, you know, in an Asian culture or in a Muslim community as well, when you get married to the other half, the questions asked, let's just say it's an arranged marriage. Oh, so do you work with the opposite gender at work? And then the question comes, oh, how do you feel about that? And what I don't like is certain men, and I feel like it's just because they're insecure within themselves sometimes, is they say, oh, you can't, they're like, it's like you're forcing your other half, oh, you can't work with the opposite gender, you know, leave your job or stuff like that. You hear so many stories. Have you heard of a few stories like that? And for me, it doesn't sit right with me, because one, first of all, marriage or relationship is based on trust. It's based on, you know, loyalty. And you need to have that trust that even if the other person, your other half, works with the opposite gender, if you have the slightest bit of doubt, then it's something wrong within yourself. You need to have that trust, and vice versa. So then going to that point as well is in terms of keeping your private life private. Now imagine, the reason why I keep my private life private is because I just think of it like, okay, imagine my wife or my other half is at work. And is with speaking to their colleagues, whether it's another gender or not, but they're talking about the issues in the marriage, if there is any. I'm just giving an example, hypothetically speaking. Now, how would you feel knowing that your other half is talking with her colleagues about your problems? You know, so that's why I try and refrain myself from doing so, because I just see it from another point, from the other perspective. So let me ask you a question, answer, right? You can go first, then Sakib, you can add to the point if you agree or disagree. What do you think are the boundaries that your other half or yourself should have with the opposite gender, whether it's at work or friendship or anything? What do you think?
I think one of them is, you know, limiting any sort of contact or communication outside of work hours. You know, if your other half has a friendship at work, fair enough, you got a friend at work, it's fine. But is there a need for you to be speaking like late hours if it's not about work? Even if it is about work, you shouldn't be speaking like after 8, 9 o'clock anyway, right? What's the need? You know,
that's a red flag. That is a red flag.
Because if that guy is messaging your missus at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, saying, oh yeah, you know, make sure you're ready for the meeting tomorrow, this, that, blah, blah. Like what sort of signal does that give to you? Yeah, even if it is like, you know, it's like friendly banter. Even if it's friendly, but that's disrespectful.
It is.
You know what I mean? That's 100%. You gotta send that boundary early. You gotta be like, okay, look, if you're gonna have friends, fine, you can have friends. At least just keep it at work, innit? Keep it at work times. There's no need for you to bring it in our home life, within our home time where we're spending time together. I don't want to be seeing messages from your from your colleagues, you know, about talking about your little
From
friend
Sanjay.
banner. From Sanjay.
From Sanjay.
I don't want no message from Sanjay. At least Sanjay's alright, innit? He's alright.
No, but Sanjay was okay though, right? Sanjay was okay.
Sanjay was okay. Saki was okay as well.
Saki wasn't okay.
It was Bilal that was the issue.
Bilal's are the issues, yeah. Bilal's okay.
What about you, Saki? What are your some of your boundaries?
I don't know, man. Like, as in, I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think, like, as in, what sort of boundaries would I? I don't know, man. Like, I really can't think through right now. I'm just thinking about the question again. So it's basically, what sort of boundaries would you want to set in your relationship, right? When it comes to opposite genders. I think obviously just knowing your own limits. I don't think anything needs to be specific. I think it's just about people just knowing their own limits, and just I think the main conversation. In all honesty, I've never. Really,
Oh, so okay. Let me give an extension of that
difficult
question.
one, bro.
Let me give an extension of that question. Yeah. So let me give an example now. Let's just say you have a friendship at work. Yeah, everything's fine. There's no boundaries crossed. No lines are sort of crossed. And you've been speaking to his friend for a while now. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, this woman, she steps the boundary now. She starts asking like intimate questions, like, oh, you know, like, oh, let's link up. Let's go get some food or something. Just me and you. Like, how are you reacting? Are you gonna cut off that relationship there and then? Or would you sort of give that benefit of the doubt? You know what, we had a good friendship there. I don't want to ruin that friendship. What are you doing? Are you cutting it off? What are you doing?
No.
You're not cutting off?
No, I'm not going to cut it off, but I can still work that friendship within boundaries.
Do you know what?
This is a grey area, man. This is a grey area.
So I think I can, man. I think I can.
I can't. Why?
Same.
The reason why I say that is because you know, you can easily just be like for example, look, even if she does try to say, oh, you know what, let's go get a drink afterwards, or let's do like let's go.
It's not a friendly drink, by the way.
Then what?
It's
maybe I'm not understanding.
It's not a friendly drink. She's stepped the mark now.
Bro, be clear, man.
What do you think? What did you think that means? Stepping the mark. She's actually made approaches to you now. She's actually crossed that boundary now.
Okay.
She wants to go out with you.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So she actually wants.
And
you know,
you got married. You know you're a married man.
Yeah. Then Then if that's the case, sorry, bro. Bro, you mentioned food, bro. I'm thinking just on lunch break.
It depends. Some
Lunch break, bro.
No. Because answer your point is, if someone's directly telling you, let's go out.
Yeah.
Common sense. You just simply say to that person, listen, I'm sorry. You know, I'm married, or you just say, listen, I'm married, and I don't feel it's right on my other half to go out. You just be honest.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, there's no
it.
harm. I feel like that's more respectable than just trying to think of an excuse. Just say the truth. If it was me and that situation happened to me, say someone
100%.
directly, I'll just simply say, I'm so sorry. You know,
All right.
I'm married, but you know,
You've done that now, yeah? You've done that. Are you gonna continue to be friends with that person, or are you completely cutting that friendship off?
Bro, if I've made that point clear,
and she knows that herself,
and she knows that, she's only going to be stupid if she still tries.
Exactly.
Like, if she's still going to go on.
But you know that seed is already planted in your head that she's already tried it on you now.
So
in future, you know that she could try again. So for the respect of your other half, are you cutting off that friendship, or are you leaving it?
what do you mean by cutting off that friendship?
Like,
Because
completely
if you're working with that person,
you had a friendship, like you were speaking to one another
while you were married.
Yeah.
I first of all won't even let that happen because
okay.
makes
Now
sense.
I hear you. Yeah.
I would
yeah,
cut it.
yeah,
I would have to. Not even I would want to. I would feel like that's, as I said, I know it's, when I mean it, I don't mean it too deeply in terms of I think that's cheating, but I do feel like that's being, you're not doing your partner right. By keeping that, maintaining that, it's a disrespect, man. Like, imagine the other way. It turned, like, think of it as a female. Imagine your other half. You know, it happened to your other half, and your other half continued being a friend with them. That's gonna annoy me.
100%. I think you're right. I would from that point on, I would keep it completely professional.
Yeah.
Completely professional.
I'll speak to HR.
No.
I'm like, this harassment.
No, man. No. You've had a friendship. Someone's tried it on. They're open to do that, man. Like as in, you know, if you've had a friendship with someone, everyone's got the right to be able to approach, right? But it's up to you and your responses how you're going to deal with that. So either you want to go with the flow, or either you don't, right? So if you don't, then I think the best way out of it is just by being completely clear and transparent, and just say, look, you know, obviously I wasn't intending for any of this, so but obviously things have moved on quite fast, and I'd prefer for us to stay as friends,
Strictly
rather
professional.
than no. they may not be able to handle that like, nicely. So maybe approach it in a nice way and just be like, and then from there on, you just try being a little bit more professional, and then eventually they'll just, you know, people ain't stupid, man.
They find another work colleague. But do you know what's the truth though? Really and truly, if like for it to get to that stage, surely realistically you must know way before, in the beginning of that friendship or during that friendship, for it, like for me, for it to get to that stage, I already feel like you messed up as a man. Like before, like it's not like overnight or the next time you meet, if that person asks you, is stepping that boundary, because humans don't work like that. It's when they feel comfortable, that's when they step that boundary. So in the stage of when they're getting comfortable, you should have already blocked that out, because you should have already known, you know. And if you didn't, it just means that you're falling into that trap. You've become weak.
I'm gonna reel it back a little bit, yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna reel it back a little bit. Going back to the, do you remember you mentioned something about cutting off friendships, yeah? So there's a point I wanted to talk about. Do you think men struggle to cut off friendships more than women do? So coming back to that same scenario that we had, yeah, you're in a friendship with someone outside your marriage. You're married now, yeah, and now things get a bit too close, things get a bit too out of hand, right? And you're being asked to cut off that friendship. Or do you think men struggle to cut that off straight away? And do you think women have the same sort of struggle, or do you think they find it easier?
I think it's the opposite, man.
You think women find it easier?
Yeah, I think women can cut off quicker than men.
Is it?
No. Hang on, wait. Sorry. Have I just missed it? No. So I think men can cut off easily. Yeah. Sorry. I meant the wrong way. Yeah. Because I think look, men are emotional.
Yeah.
Right. And I think men can easily sort of just like switch off, like as in very, very quickly. But I think that comes down to their natural nature, like as in the way their mind is. Most men, they're not very emotional. They don't get attached too quickly. I've never, my personality, I'm talking about my own personality now. I think my sort of personality is that I try not to get attached to things too quickly, right? And I think most men probably operate like that, right? Like as in you don't ever want to put yourself in a vulnerable situation, right? Like as in most men are very mindful of that. And because of that, you're ready to let go of anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
What do you think, Hobbs? Like, what's your take on that? Do you think women struggle? What's the reason why do you think women struggle to cut off friendships?
Do you know what it is? I think it's more sense of attachment, especially for women. You know, it's not the fact that they may get easily attached. I feel like even for both men and women, once you're attached, regardless, it's going to be difficult because now you've got a feeling towards something, and it's something that you're used to. So for us as humans, we find it difficult breaking a habit. And that's what it's all about. It's just about the habit. You know, being attached to another person outside of your marriage, a friendship group, whether it's serious or not serious, or whether it's just a friendly, at the end of the day, you're consistently doing this every time. You know, more time you're at work than you're at home. So it's not about the fact that, it's difficult to remove that attachment. It's just you've built that habit and it's part of your lifestyle now for so long, over a consistent period of time, that naturally it's just going to be difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. And I think it's... I'm not gonna answer because I just don't know whether it's more difficult for a man or a woman, but I just think generally it's difficult for both, and that's why again from the beginning I say, from the beginning, cut it off. Don't let yourself get in that situation if you know long term that might happen. Obviously, some people don't know, but I'm learning from other people's advice, and that's one advice I can give to the viewers is always think long term in that sense, and always listen to elder people because they've been through it. So it's important you listen to that advice, whether you action on it or not. At least you've seen that person's angle, and that's my advice, anyways. And I feel like there's no answer, and everyone is different. So it's just knowing yourself, knowing how you feel, and not letting yourself get to that stage where you feel vulnerable.
No, I agree, man. It's coming back to the point that you were saying. That I think naturally women just are. It's just the way they're built, and we as men we need to understand that it's not. I don't think it's completely wrong for them to struggle to cut off that relationship. You're right. They shouldn't be having that friendship in the first place. But if you're in that position where their friendship is there and they're struggling to cut off, you gotta understand. You gotta give them that benefit of that a little bit, because females naturally are emotional beings. Men aren't generally. We're more like physical beings, isn't it? We crave more that physical attraction. That's how we are. That's how we're built. Yeah. So having to tell a man to cut off a relationship or cut off a friendship, is a man would do it like that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas he won't think twice. Whereas a female will obviously think about, I had a good friendship with this person, like, this person gets me, this person is able to understand me, this, that, blah, blah. They're obviously naturally going to struggle.
100%. And I think, again, I'm just thinking in terms of, if this happens to, any of our viewers or anyone and everything, I think it all depends on how your how your relationship is. For example, it's good to have these conversations before things get serious. So before you imagine you've fallen in love and so all of these bloody whatever, have these conversations before you get, like, once you're getting to know that person, because some people, again, people are different. So some people are happy for you to have opposite gender friends, other people aren't. So for me, for example, I'm just giving an example. If my other half tells me, oh, I'm not happy, I prefer, if we don't have opposite gender friends and stuff, and she tells me that, of course I'll cut every single opposite gender friends I may have, or hypothetically speaking, because at the end of the day, the marriage and the relationship is the most important thing to me. And whatever it's a little sacrifice to make my wife feel less less agitated, or thinking twice about a certain situation, and vice versa. Say for example, you don't have any female friends, but your wife has male friends. Not you, but just generally, your wife has male friends, and you're not comfortable with that. I think it's important for you to have that conversation. It's not about forcing that person not to, but you just say, I just feel like it's, there's a lot more problems that can happen when you have opposite gender friends, and have that understanding between each other. And imagine she continues having those opposite gender friends. How would you feel about that?
But bro, we already established that, females crave emotional connection, right? Do you think one of the reasons why men struggle to cut off their friendship is because of that female attention?
The attention, did you say?
Attention that females give them. Is that one of the reasons why men find it hard to cut off that friendship? Because he might not be getting attention from anyone else.
Again, it goes back to Saqib's point. There's always, for that reason, there must always be a void in their own personal life for that to happen.
Let's just say there's no void. I think, this is my personal opinion, I think men just naturally do crave female attention.
And another point is, I feel like men just don't deep about how serious these things are. They probably they just think it's not normal, but they just probably think it's nothing. They're saying, oh, it's nothing, it's not that deep. They're telling themselves these things. They don't realize, like, they're
a bit naive.
I think that's what it is as well. They're probably thinking in their head, it's not nothing wrong. I'm just having a conversation. It's boosting my ego a little bit. It's calm. That's what they're probably, like, as guys, that's what guys think about. But once you settle down and that's where the real test is.
Yeah, man. And also, like, I don't think, listen, if you're coming back to the original point back, like, a bit a while ago, bro, if you're hiding anything from your other half,
man.
Look, if it feels wrong, it's wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. If it feels wrong, it's most likely it's gonna be wrong. And let me just say this as well, yeah. If you're gonna be trying hiding something from your other half, forget about it.
Exactly.
Women, will turn into the biggest detectives on earth, They will find out everything they need to find out, and they'll get information from anywhere. They'll do what they can to get in that information. So don't even try and hide things from your other half, from your missus. It's just don't go there, man.
100%, and it's not even about the detective part as well. Like, it will come back around one day or another, bro. Like, the truth is,
Whatever happens in the dark comes to light.
exactly, and yeah,
So-
and people can sense it. The truth is, let's be completely honest. Gut instinct is so important, and if someone, hypothetically speaking, is being unfaithful or is doing something against, you know, the norm or whatever, you can feel that. Tensions build, problems may arise in your relationship. These things, there's a reason always behind everything, and sometimes it could just be as simple as that. So to lead a happy and successful marriage, we're counselors now. It's all about just being honest, being true to yourself. If you feel like something is wrong, as Ansa has said, it always is, you know. So my advice is, don't fall for that trap. We're men, you know, men do get weak, but just train your mind.
Yeah, man. We're not saying we're perfect.
Exactly.
Either, man. We're no saints, man. We
Yeah.
make mistakes just as
Everyone
everyone
does.
else, man. But like, this the beauty of this podcast. I love this already, man. We're already giving so much advice to people out there. But it's not even our experiences. We're just talking generally, and there's so much value in what we're talking about, you know.
So
All
I
right,
think
all
we
right.
should just-
Final few words, yeah.
Yes.
Can men and women be friends?
Shall I
We
go
just
first?
spoke for the last hour, and you man's
Do you
still
know what
thinking
it
about
is?
it.
Because I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have female friends. I've got work colleagues that are the opposite gender. I get along with them. I have conversations when I go into work. How's your day? How's your day? How's your day been? All of these things. I have these conversations, but but it's different because at the end of the day, do I think men and like the opposite gender should be friends? I don't. But life goes on, and there's going to be situations where you're going to have to have friends, work colleagues, whatever you want to call it, of the opposite gender. It's just a fact. So I think it's okay to have friends that are the opposite gender, but just know within yourself what your limits are, and don't let yourself, you know, get to that weak stage.
100%. I completely agree. I was literally about to say the same thing, bro. Look, men and women can be friends. There's no doubt about that. You gotta know your limits, know your boundaries, and always remember, shaitan is always gonna be present in that friendship,
That's
innit?
it, bro.
Whether you want to have good intentions or whether you just want to keep it to a minimum, shaitan's ever gonna be present, right? Even if you don't find this person attractive, like I said, to keep like that, over time you will probably build that attraction. You know, shaitan is gonna always be doing the waswas in your ear. So eventually you gotta bear that in mind. So before it leads to anything, understand where, you know, where things are getting out of hand. If it does get out of hand, just cut it off straight there.
And not even that, I'll give a perfect example as well. Sorry, Sakib. I'll give a perfect example. Is like, for example, at work, I don't go out. Like, you know how we can go for work meals and all of these things. I feel like going out to a work meal with the opposite gender, it's absolutely fine if you're in a group.
Yes.
But going by yourself with a female colleague, that is a red flag in itself. That's something I would never do. And it's not that something I would, it's not, oh, I despise of it or I'm being mean or nothing. I don't mind going out in a group. But for me, if it's just out of my whole team, if I'm just going with the opposite gender, one person out for lunch or something, I personally wouldn't do that, and I don't. But yeah.
No, personally, I personally think that men and females can be friends, right? As long as you know your boundaries, really. I think it's difficult to actually, you know, say that no, they can't be friends, this, that, blah, 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 and generalize for everyone. The simple fact is, of course, they can be friends, but there's obviously risks attached with that. But in today's world, I just want to point out also the fact that the world that we live in now, you know, men are also attracted to other men, and women are also attracted to other females. So as in, it's
So
so
we have to reevaluate
so
this
mate-
this trio.
no,
Let me turn around. Yep.
easy. No. But I think generally speaking, like as in, you know, it's true though, man. Like world is changing. You know, society is changing. So as in, you know, this conversation we're having at the moment, 10 years down the line, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be different?
I agree, 100%.
No.
Look,
So-
do you know what? Just to bring a little bit of religion into this, yeah. Back in the day, you know, of the times of the prophets and stuff, yeah. bro, like obviously men and women, they had to communicate with each other. They had to interact with each other.
100%.
You know? They were in business
Exactly.
with each other. They all on a daily they were interacting with each other. But they always had respect. Once respect is out the window, then you know you're gonna fall into trouble, innit? Respect was always there. You know, the Prophet used to, interact with other women and stuff. He had to, and then they had to,
That is a very, very good point, because that's something I haven't mentioned.
Do you know what? I'm sorry, Hobbs.
go for
It
it.
comes back to intention at the end of the day as well, you know. As long as you know within your own
That's
intention
it.
that you're doing what's right, yeah, within with yourself, you know, like, okay, I'm not going to set my boundaries and I'm not going to cross any lines, then there's no need for you to be worrying about whether you should be friends or not friends with females or not. Within yourself, if you know your intention is right, then there's no harm in that.
And I think to add to that, that's a wicked point, because it just gave me a thought in my head, and it is about having good morals. Because at the end of the day, when you're in a workplace, and if you're having conversations which are not, which is more indirect, a bit more banter level, but it's becoming a close to flirty level, you've already done yourself wrong. You know, for me, it's okay to have friends of the opposite gender at work or wherever, as long as you've kept true to yourself, in the sense where, you're not having these conversations. You're limiting the type of conversation you're having. If you're having a simple conversation of, yep, how are you doing? You okay? This, khalas, that's fine. But if you're having conversations of, little...
By the way, guys, for those who don't know, khalas means done, innit?
Yeah, done.
Is it? It's like
Khalas.
khalas.
It's like, whereas if you're having conversations where you're giving the bombastic side eye,
Yeah.
then you're heading into deep troubles.
Yeah.
Like that itself, So, it's just one of those ones. It's how you conversate with the other half, not your other half, with the other gender. That's as important as just conversating as well. And I feel like that is important, because if you're feeling like,
Mate,
we're having like a guy banter.
Look, it takes two to tango, innit?
Exactly.
It takes two to tango. So like, as in there's one, like, as in man. I don't know. Like, as in,
I'm gonna ask you one last time,
Yeah.
an answer, yes or no. Hobbs, can men and women be friends?
Yes.
Saki, what about you?
Yeah, I think so.
What about you, answer?
Answer.
I said no.
Why?
I'm joking. I'm gonna be a sheep. I'm gonna say yes.
But I think look, because obviously most of the questions throughout this podcast, we were talking about the negativities. Yeah,
There's a lot of positives as well.
there are a lot of positives as well, but we're not going to go into that because that's just going to drag it out on a different. But I think just the main message from this podcast was just to be able to list out the sort of issues, the typical issues that will come up in a male and female friendship, and the sort of insecurities that one may experience, or jealousies and all that sort of stuff. Obviously these issues, they do come up. It's a hot topic which basically everyone goes through but doesn't want to discuss. And I think that's the main reason why we brought it up. And obviously I think the main point from here is that both females as well as men, they can listen in and they can actually understand what a male perspective can possibly be at times, and then at the same time vice versa as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean we're right or we're wrong, but this is literally just our personal opinions.
Yes.
It's not even necessarily our own experiences. It's literally just our thoughts and how to be safe, really.
Before we even asked all of these questions, we should have defined what is it. What do you mean, or define to me what it means by friend or friendship? Because let me explain.
There's different levels, right?
There's different levels, and the truth is, when you ask the question, do men and women, can the opposite gender be friends? Now, me personally, inside me, and I'll say it now, it's a no. Yeah, the only time it's a yes is, for example, in the situation where it's work related. Like, for example, I'm at work and my work colleagues, some of them are the opposite gender. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to judge someone or treat them differently because they're the opposite gender. I just don't like that. I feel like when you're at work, you're all there to make some money, to make your bread, to come home and please your wife.
Yeah, but those are work colleagues. They're not your friends.
Then I take that back. If I assumed when you said friendship, I thought you meant, okay, friendships in work. Now, if you were to ask me the question, outside from work, right? Can the opposite gender be friends? No.
I still say yes.
I still say yes as well.
I think no. I feel like I personally wouldn't have a friendship with the other gender that's not even related to do with work. Majority of this podcast, I'm just thinking about work, right? Because I'm just basing it on my situation. But the truth is, for me, imagine I'm friends with another female. And it's not work related. Like, of course, they're gonna message you outside of work, because if they're not your work friend, they're gonna be messaging you, and you're there next to your other half. Yes, I take that back.
No, but this is where we talked about boundaries and so setting standards and stuff.
No, again, I thought you meant again at work. So
no. Work was just scenario based, isn't it? Yeah. It's just to give context, really. It doesn't necessarily.
Then
mean
I have to say, I don't think the opposite genders can be friends.
Right.
There's no need. As in,
I don't know.
I personally, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
I just think, for me, we all know how the opposite genders are in that sense. Why would you let yourself get potentially that vulnerable, or get to that vulnerable stage when you don't need to? I always would question, what is that friend going to give me that my other half can't?
What if she's a 2?
What do you mean?
What if she's a 2 out of 10? Like as in, would you still discriminate?
It's not even about attraction.
No.
It's not even no. She's a 2, you know. This guy.
No, I'm just saying though, innit?
What if she's a 2? It's gonna sway my mind. Yeah. We can be friends.
because then you're definitely not attracted to
But
it. So
at the end of the day, a friendship, right, is basically essentially you getting along with someone, and you're talking about not just you're talking about your personal life with them. That's what friendship is, isn't it? So my point is, if I'm in a relationship, right, my other half will give me everything and more that a friend of the opposite gender would.
What if this friend is a mutual? She knows your other half as well, and your other half is comfortable with this person. She trusts your friend.
Then that's not my friend. That's our friend.
No, but it's both your friends, though, isn't it?
no, but it's still like you've still got your friendship with this person as well, isn't it?
But yes, but I wouldn't be speaking to her privately, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you get my point? Like, as in, if we're together with my wife, or my other half, and she's there, then that's fine. We'll get along. But it doesn't mean we're friends. Like, do you get? I don't know. I think it's difficult.
I think for me, it's about understanding like the levels of friendship. So, like, for example, with my guy mates, I can easily tell my missus, listen, that it's 1 o'clock at night time. I'm gonna go see a couple of my mates. And if it's a female, I'm not gonna go meet her like 1 o'clock at night. And to be fair, I don't think a female would probably want to jump out 1 o'clock at night just to go have a couple of. I'm just saying, or go get a milkshake from McDonald's, or at 1 o'clock, bro. No chai shops are even gonna be open, bro. So I think in general, most females, if they are gonna be your friend, and you go out and it's purely just friends, you probably do it as a group anyway. If it's work, or if it's even from uni, you normally just like meet up as friends, as a group or something like that. But I think generally speaking, I don't think it's an issue. I think male and females can be friends as long as you're not, you're being respectful. So, like, for example, if you are meeting them at 1 o'clock at night time, then that's not being respectful. That's not right. If you're meeting them like during like sociable hours, then that is respectful. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that too with transparency. Like, as in making sure your partner's cool with it and whatnot. And you know what? In all honesty, if I have got a female friend, I would actually want my partner to know, and make sure that my partner knows this person properly for her own sort of sanity. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's one thing I want to ask you a question as well. Say, hypothetically speaking, you have a female friend, right? Now, would you introduce her? I know what my answer is. Would you introduce her to your wife? Or to your other half?
Yeah, if I got nothing to hide, then 100%.
You shouldn't be nothing to hide.
Yeah.
As in, there should be no uncomfortability at all.
That's it. And a lot of people, if you were to ask them that question, they would think a lot more. They would think twice
Yeah.
right? And that's when you know you're heading the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
if you can confidently say without in a split second, I would love her to meet my wife. Do you get it? I want her to meet my wife or something.
Yeah.
You know, this is a friend, whatever. If you grew up in school together or things like that, it's acceptable. But me personally, I feel like once you're in a relationship or a marriage, your time is so important, and I feel like majority of your time, aside from work, will be at home with your wife. So I'm just thinking, when do you have time to catch up with your friends?
Yeah, I would say straight up, man. Like as in, I've got female friends, right? And my wife knows about them. Like, as in, do you know what I mean? So, and she's cool with it. Like, as in, and same with her as well. Like, as in, I know she's got a couple of guy mates, and they're like from college days. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, as in, people from who I also knew, like, as in, whatnot type thing. So, you know, things like that. I think that's cool, man. Like, as long as you know the other person and whatnot, that's fine.
Even if you do have friends, and your wife is cool with it, it makes you want to be way more respectful.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
mate, look, like for example, there's okay. For example, I'm one of those sort of people, right? Where you guys are my mates, yeah. You guys have been round to my house and whatnot type of thing, right? Now, at the same time, you guys have also met my wife as well, right? Now, at the end of the day, whenever you guys get married and whatnot, I'm the sort of person I would want us to do things together, right?
100%.
And then automatically, that's more of like a group friendship type thing. Do you know what I mean? So like you know, you like as in, you know, we will have that friendship between us as a group, if anything. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think there's, you know, obviously that's just another example, but likewise there's always friendship between opposite genders and whatnot. Yeah.
Again, I'm probably going to say I take that back. Do you know what? They're all valid points. I don't think
This guy's taking it back like 3 times,
Nah,
bro. You know what I'm saying, bro?
do you know what it is? It's true because
Nah, bro. No. When we're not giving it back.
This guy's a tennis ball going on one side to another, bro.
We call it Bepandigalota. Have you heard it?
I don't even know what that means.
It's basically a lota
Without the base.
without the base, so it can rock side to side.
So that's me.
So that's you, bro.
What is it?
It's called Bepandigalota.
Bepandigalota. That's it correctly.
Yeah. So
Now, but do you know what? It all depends. You know, trust your instinct. At the end of the day, if you feel like that friendship isn't one of those friendships, as you've mentioned, if it's like a work through marriage or through friends' wives or whatever it is, or school day or whatever, then that's fine. But if it's just a random friendship, we DM'd each other on Instagram 5 years ago, and now then you know, okay, come on, you know.
If there's history involved, don't go with that.
That's
Don't go
it.
there.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. And sometimes it's best not having female friends. Then
Yeah, I think the safer option is not to, right? We all agree on that, right?
100%.
But like as in,
but I wouldn't limit not having female friends. For example, as you were saying, the situation about you know, marriage, couples going out on dates together. You're gonna build that
Bro,
relationship.
this is what I was gonna say as well. If you're limiting your other half, you're causing problems there yourself, because
Exactly,
if you're restricting her, she's gonna be wanting to break those
exactly,
restrictions naturally, innit?
As
So
in,
you gotta be careful. You gotta be really like careful with that sort of stuff as well. innit? So,
yeah.
And I don't think you should ever apply pressure or restrict your other half. Give your opinion and leave it at that. Your wife can make that decision for
100%.
herself.
Also, you gotta practice what you preach as well.
Exactly.
You can't set rules on your missus and not follow them yourself.
100%,
Exactly.
100% true.
And that's what I feel like a lot of people make mistakes on. You know, it's because it's sad to see where men especially, they force their other half or limit the other half, but then they're not perfect themselves, or they're not doing the same things themselves. You know, you're right. And yeah,
Boys, today's been an amazing episode, man.
I think so, man. I think so.
I think we smashed it today, man.
I think so. And Hobbs especially, man.
Yeah, man.
nah,
Hobbs
He
went into like
fully charged up, innit?
I'm ready to sleep now. Should we actually tell them what the time is? Can we or not?
I think so.
It's way after 5, guys.
It's nearly 5 a.m. It's crazy, and
It is mad.
it just shows one day. I hope one day we'll be able to tell people what we're doing in our lives. You know, more about ourselves, about the reasons behind it. We've got so much clips, BTS clips and stuff of the podcast, and I feel
What's
like
BTS?
behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
There's so much stuff, right? Where
Looking freshy.
Listen, man, I don't understand all these like what's it called, abbreviations, innit? Bro, why are you gonna say out BTS when you could just say behind the scenes? Like, I can understand in text, yeah, to make it short. But mate, people will say lol.
Ah, sorry, uncle.
laugh
No,
out,
but wait.
laugh out loud.
No.
Laugh out loud.
Bruv, come on.
But you know the worst one is, have you ever tried typing on my way or
And
OMW?
on
And it was exclamation mark at the end. It goes
Yeah.
on my way.
exclamation mark. Yeah, that happens to me. Does that happen to you?
Oh, no, I don't
Every
agree with
single
you.
all the
time,
time, bro.
you press space and it does the exclamation mark. And just like, oh man, I didn't mean it
And
to be like, I'm
I have a person thinking this guy's running to me, bro.
100% that happens to me.
Good one.
I don't know, man. I think I can't stand abbreviations, especially when people say it, man. Like,
Yeah.
bloody hell, man. Like, why?
Wait,
Why?
so for lol, isn't it better to say lol than
No,
LOL?
you just laugh. No. If you're finding something funny, then you're gonna laugh. Why are you gonna say lol?
Haha.
Yeah.
But sometimes people's laughs are not that.
It's a natural, mate. How many times have we laughed during this podcast? We've laughed so many times. It happens naturally. You don't need to be fake and say lol. That's what I'm trying to say,
Who says lol?
Who says lol?
mate. People.
Who?
You say on text. You say in your mind.
No.
You say in text.
I've heard people say.
People say lol in real life.
lol.
What?
IRL.
Huh?
IRL.
What's
IRL.
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 Figure it out, mate. In real life, bro.
Oh,
This guy's a
man,
proper
why?
granddad, isn't it?
Do you know CBA? Yeah, what? Nah, if you
Come on, you know what
nah,
CBA is,
Saki,
man.
we taught you better, man.
CBA.
Yeah.
Come back. Come back another time. What was
Come
that?
back another time. CBA stands for come back another time.
What does it mean?
Can't be asked.
Oh, for crying out loud, man. Listen, I genuinely don't understand.
Really?
Like, yeah, no, I don't.
I got another one.
Yeah.
Go.
DBI.
DBI.
Let's end it on that one, yeah? And spot on it. Yeah, DBI, what do you think it means?
I don't know.
Don't beg it, fam.
Saki Psilia, yeah?
Then why isn't it DBIF?
I've put fam in there for dramatic effects, innit?
Okay.
Flipping Ziki, bruv. Hobbs, do you want to remind everyone what they can do for us?
Yes, guys. So we appreciate every single one of you. We would appreciate if you can leave us a comment. You know, whatever you guys feel. You know, just let us know what we can do to improve. What discussions you want to have as well. Your support. You know, it means a lot to us. Whether you like, subscribe, share. You know, just keep continuing doing that. It helps us, and hopefully, you know, eventually, we've got long-term plans of where we want the podcast to be, and hopefully we can bring you more involved. So that's our plan. But yeah, stay safe, and till next time.
Smashing. Guys, we'll catch you next episode. Take care.
Peace out. Take care.